Hi, I'm Old Norse Specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford. In this installment, I'm going to finish my recap of the Saga of the Volsungs, beginning with Gudrun's attempt to drown herself and her previously unmentioned daughter Svanhild after killing her husband Atli. In attempting to drown herself in the waves, she actually is accidentally transported to yet another kingdom, this one that of King Jónakr, and she is married to him, and they have, according to the saga, 3 sons: Hamdir, Sorli, and Erp. According to a poem in the Poetic Edda, Hamdismal, which is, along with Atlakvida, one of the oldest poems in the Poetic Edda, Erp is not her son, but a son of Jónakr by a concubine, and that makes a little bit more sense for what happens next. Svanhild grows up, and she's fantastically beautiful, as one would expect in a story like this, and a neighboring king named Jormunrek wants to marry her. Now, Jormunrek is very old, but his proposal is accepted by Svanhild's, her mother and stepfather. And so Jormunrek sends his young son, Randver, to go and pick her up from Jónakr's kingdom. Randver comes and is bringing Svanhild back to marry his father Jormunrek, and along the way, an advisor who is with him, presumably a man dressed all in gray with one eye and a wide-brimmed hat and all that, says that, it's a shame that we're bringing this beautiful young girl back to marry your nasty old dad. You should, maybe enjoy her while we're on this trip. And so, Randver propositions Svanhild, and she's agreeable. But when they get back to Jormunrek's kingdom and she's ready to get married to Jormunrek, this advisor, whose name is Biki, goes and tells Jormunrek that his bride has been sullied by his own son. And so Jormunrek kills Svanhild. He has her trampled to death by horses. This is one of the oldest legendary elements in Old Norse. This is repeated in just about every version of the story, as well as in Jordane's History of the Goths. So this probably has some historical basis. And then he, according to the saga, also kills Randver, his son. He hangs him, although Randver sends him a plucked hawk as a symbol of the fact that he has plucked his kingdom of its feathers, as it were, by killing his son. When Gudrun hears that her daughter has died, she starts working on Hamdir and Sorli, her sons, to go and avenge her. And she convinces them, even though Hamdir and Sorli are not very willing because they know they're going to die on this mission. And it's a little bit confusing because it's hard to see how this works, but she seems to have somehow become a witch at this juncture in the story, and she enchants them to be impervious to harm by iron weapons as long as they don't harm the stones of the road. Alright, well, Hamdir and Sorli are about to take off on their vengeance mission, and they encounter their brother Erp, who, at least according to a poem in the Poetic Edda, again, is a bastard. And they ask, Erp says, hey, I want to come with you, and they ask him, well, how are you going to help? And he says, well, I'll help you like hand helps hand, or like foot helps foot. And rather than ask for clarification, they decide that's not very much help at all, and so they kill him. But as they continue along their way, Hamdir at one point falls off of his horse and then catches himself with one hand and then steadies himself with the other. And he says, my hand just helped my hand. Maybe our brother Erp actually intended some good by what he said. And then a little bit later, Sorli falls off of his horse and catches himself with his foot and then steadies himself with the other foot and says, my foot just helped my foot. Maybe our brother Erp actually intended to help us. Well, they get to Jormunrek's kingdom. They bust into his hall, and they find him in bed, and Hamdir cuts off his hands, Sorli cuts off his feet, but they realize without Erp there's no one to cut off his head. Apparently this was his assigned job, even though this wasn't discussed. And so Jormunrek is able to shout for help. Well, his men start to attack Hamdir and Sorli, and of course they're unable to harm them because they have this imperviousness to iron. But then an old man, dressed all in gray, with a wide-brimmed hat, one eye, shows up and tells them they should throw rocks at them which apparently they are not impervious to thanks to Gudrun's spell. And so Hamdir and Sorli are stoned to death, and the line of the Volsungs comes to an end, punished by Odin, just as he had earlier favored it. From beautiful Colorado, I'm wishing you all the best.